Today we're going to take a look at Gmail. So to get to your mail client, gmail.com. When we get to Gmail, you'll notice that there are emails already here. There are some little boxes we can do some things with, and there's also a little bar here that will expand and collapse. So I'm going to leave it expanded. Some of the things that you need to know is that we do start out in the box. For instance, I'll give you a little thing. If you notice the top bar up here where I have the select and all this, watch what happens when I select a name. You get some more options. So I'm going to leave this option highlighted. So, for instance, I can archive it, report as spam, delete it, read it, snooze, move to, and make a label. I think that may be an important thing that you need to know, how to make a label. So, for instance, I can search for the label. Make sure that if you start typing in, that does not create the label. So I'm going to create a label, and I'm just going to say classroom is going to be the label. I can nest it underneath something, but right now classroom is what it's going to be here, and you'll notice that classroom just appeared right here. So that's how you label an item. So now, that same email, I want to create a task for. To do that, we can do it by clicking the three dots. After we've selected, remember, select it first, click the three dots, add the task, and once we do that, we'll notice that it pops up over here. If we need to add some dates and stuff to that, we click Edit. We add some information, whatever the information is that we need to add. Information. We can set a date and time, maybe next week. Set a time, maybe at 9:30. Click OK. Now we've got a time. We could add a subtask, but we're kind of done now. Notice that my task has been added, and that's how you add a task in Gmail to an email. There is another thing that you can do too, is I can just add a task. And now add a task would be to remind me to do something. I can name it. Let's just say reply or check email. Just say that. And if that's all we wanted, it would be just a quick task. But we want to edit. We want to give it some more detail. We also want to give it a time and date. And we click OK. Hit our arrow back, and now we've just added a task. Gmail is also a place where we can make calls and meet people and things like that. So one thing is that here we could actually hit the plus by my name, and I can add more people to this just by their name, email, or phone number. Now I'm going to put my name here, which I've already added. Here it is. And I can do several little things. I can add them to the contacts. I can send an email, schedule an event, send a message, and I can also make a video call. So these are some things that you can do just by clicking the plus and adding that person here. So how do I search my mail? Well, the easiest method to search mail is located at the top. Now I'm going to unselect this email, but notice I can type in names, maybe the email, and it will search and find emails from just that person. But what are the limitations? What can I search by? Well, if you notice that in the search box there's a drop arrow here, let's see some more search options. I can do from to, from, subject, has the words, doesn't have. I can look at size, megabytes, kilobytes, and bytes. I can see within a certain amount of days with the calendar. I can search all mail or in certain locations. Does it have an attachment? Don't include charts. So if it's got a chart, don't include it. Once you do this, you can create a filter. And then you just hit search. Hopefully this will be helpful to you. The other thing, of course, is just to compose a message, and I'll finish it. You hit compose, type in the email, type in your subject. You do have some little text options here. If you hit the little drop arrow, you're given more formatting options. You can also look down here. You can attach files. Notice that it will look for a file to attach. You can hit the link, so you can insert a link. It's going to ask you to give it a text name, put the link in. It can be a web address or an email address. You can actually test the link. You can put emojis in. You can insert files from Drive, photos. You can turn off confidential mode or not. And of course, there is a little send and request money feature. You can delete it, which deletes the draft, and there's a couple more options. We can label this. We can make it full screen, plain text mode, print it, check the spelling, and then smart compose feedback. So, but with those things being said, that's basically how you would compose a mail. You can change the keyboard settings and stuff too, and there's some other little settings if you just play around, but the big ones are, of course, I would be able to compose a message. I want to be able to see some labels. I would also like to be able to make some tasks associated with the email highlighted, or just add a task that has nothing to do with an email. And hopefully this has been helpful to you.